Over 2 million people live in Riverside County without a local news perspective. Until now. Spirit of Innovation, bringing you the need to know and good to know local regional county news, creating community and inspiration for business and residents.
Hello, I'm Gabriela Venturo. Welcome to Spirit of Innovation, nonprofit JDS Creative Academy's local monthly magazine news and information show. Kicking off the show with good news. California officials recently announced the state will fully reopen without restrictions on June 15th. California will remove restrictions on indoor and outdoor capacity limits and physical distancing at restaurants and bars, and the color-coded system used to track the pandemic will no longer be used. Coming up, we have more need-to-know news affecting our region, as well as the good-to-know that's sure to brighten your day. We also delve into the innovation history of radio and how Riverside County is right there along the cutting edge of this broadcasting medium. But first, as solar energy continues to advance, the implementation of clean energy sources are on the rise, especially in desert areas. California has seen construction of the largest solar farms in the U.S., including a recently approved $550 million facility located 13 miles west of Blythe near the Arizona border. Spirit of Innovation explores the benefits and drawbacks of these solar farms and how they might affect all those who live in the region. Solar farms contribute to powering communities, helping utility companies maximize their energy production capacity, and can provide new revenue sources to our region. Solar farms also help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality. The increased development of large solar farms, such as the 2,000-acre Crimson Solar Project in Riverside County, could help the state move closer to their goal of lessening the carbon footprint and further meet the economic needs of 21st century technology.
We want to get away from using fossil fuels. So currently in the state of California, about 34% of our electricity comes from natural gas, and actually 3% is still coming from coal, believe it or not. So any form of solar, whether it's a farm or rooftop solar, is beneficial because we want to get away from those fossil fuels. That's not good for our environment, and we want to be using renewable sources.
Wow, I didn't know that's a very high percentage, especially in 2021.
Yeah, most people are shocked that the state of California, being as green as it is and being known for being a green state, would still be using coal power. So it is crazy. But solar is here, it's the way to do things going forward, and so it's good that we are seeing things like solar farms coming.
For Riverside County and other inland areas is that we are the generators of renewable energy. You may be familiar with, in the Cabazon Pass, we have these windmills. They're old, they're from the 70s, but they do produce energy. And we continue to have more and more solar installations put in the inland region because we are rich in sunshine. And that is a great renewable resource we can use for our energy. And so the good news is that with the expansion of the renewable energy economy, it's very beneficial for the economy of Riverside County. So dealing with climate change actually is economically beneficial for us. Yes, it's going to be difficult and a little bit painful because we're going to have to change the way we do things, and change is always hard. But the good news is that we will end up, if we can do this, we will end up with not just cleaner air, not just a more stable climate, but hopefully better jobs for people in this region.
However, there are concerns attached to solar farms. Some environmentalists feel these projects located in pristine areas will have a detrimental effect on wildlife, including the habitat occupied by desert species.
So, for example, on a lot of desert floors, you'll have biocrust. So it's a very thin layer of almost like lichen, little organisms that form this crust and are using the energy from the sun to do photosynthesis and to live. If you put a solar panel on top of those guys, if they're shaded from the sun, they might die, and they take a long time to grow back. And those crusts are really important because they prevent dust from coming off the soil surface when it gets really windy.
Some argue that solar farm projects like Crimson are not the most effective way to spend taxpayers' money.
In general, when you're talking about a project like Crimson, it's $550 million. That's paid for by you and I and everybody watching your program that's an Edison customer. We're paying that $550 to build that solar farm. Then we're paying for the power we use from it. So we're paying for that whole entire project. And I think the better use of that funds would just be to put it on rooftop solar and generate right where you're consuming it and not have to ship it all the way across. You know, that's 100 to 200 miles away that they have to ship it, and those are towers and power lines they have to maintain. The problem though with using those transmission lines is sometimes they can start fires, and we've seen that in the past. We have so many rooftops in the state of California that have yet to have solar installed. We've already built the homes, we've already done the work to put that home there. Let's utilize this wasted space and put solar on top. And I really think that they're just going about it the wrong way. If they could refocus their efforts and reallocate funds and use them more wisely by generating the power where you consume it.
There are many challenges that come along with trying to achieve California's goal to become carbon-free. Whether or not you agree that solar farms are the solution, it is clear that solar energy is a solution for our future.
We must note, after several attempts to contact the Federal Bureau of Land Management, who approved the construction of the Crimson Solar Project and manages the project site, we have received no response. Recurrent Energy, the Canadian-based solar company who will be constructing the project, plans to meet with us in July, and we look forward to bringing you that interview. 2 weeks ago, the FDA expanded the emergency use of authorization of the Pfizer vaccine to include adolescents 12 through 15 years of age. As of today, over 1,300,000 adults and children have been vaccinated in Riverside County. However, even though the vaccine is more available, it doesn't mean that scammers have stopped trying to profit off of false claims. It's been reported that local seniors are receiving calls from a phone number that appears to be a Riverside County line. When they answer the call, seniors are told that they need to pay for a vaccination or vaccination appointment. However, all COVID vaccines are free and no one needs to pay for them. If this happens to you, you can report it at reportfraud.ftc.gov. In more need-to-know news, this month the nonprofit Leapfrog Group released their annual Spring Hospital Safety Grade Report. Their expert panel evaluates 27 measures of patient safety, and their letter grade scoring system represents the hospital's abilities to protect patients from preventable errors, accidents, injuries, and infections. This year, the grades were assessed during the peak of the pandemic, when the hospitals were under extraordinary pressure. In Riverside County, five hospitals earned A grades: Temecula Valley Hospital, Kaiser Permanente's Moreno Valley Medical Center and Riverside Medical Center, Corona Regional Medical Center, and Memorial Care Orange Coast Medical Center in Fountain Valley. Temecula Valley Hospital CEO Darlene Wetton told us they work hard for this rating.
Not everyone gets an A, and really to distinguish ourselves, we have to be very different at this hospital and really be true to our values. First thing every morning, we have a safety huddle at the hospital. We review everything that's going on. Every department reports out and shares any concerns they have about safety. At new employee orientation, the first thing I cover is the importance of patient safety and patient quality. It's have the courage to speak up, to challenge that, that surgeon or somebody that's a little bit scary to them, speak up, say something, challenge me, and encourage me to do something different that'll really protect the patients.
Leah Binder, CEO of the Leapfrog Group, says, as we emerge from the pandemic, hospitals need to double down on safety so they save lives, strengthen their organizations, and position themselves to withstand the next crisis. The Leapfrog Group's letter grade scoring system allows consumers to easily assess the safety of their local hospital and choose the safest facility for care. 13 hospitals in Riverside County received less than A ratings, and we have a link to the full list on our website. Spirit of Innovation will be following up on future reports to keep you in the know. In more health news, last month, the Board of County Supervisors approved expanding the number of behavioral health teams that assist county sheriff's departments in situations involving mentally ill residents. The community behavioral health assessment teams were established last summer to assist the police during emergencies. Next up, we have our Voice of Innovation segment. One of the greatest innovations of all times was the invention of radio. It changed the world and has had a huge impact right here in Riverside County. SOI team member Karina Corona reports on more.
Radio has an interesting backstory from its birth to the way it's been used for communication and entertainment. A lot of people don't realize the evolution radio has gone through while keeping up with the changing times of media. Here to talk about how it all started is radio historian John Schneider.
In the beginning, radio was considered a point-to-point communication method. The communication from one person to another person could be overheard by anyone else with a radio receiver. And so wireless communication was considered to be disadvantageous as opposed to the telephone or other means of private communication. It was only in later years that people started to realize, well, this disadvantage could be an advantage.
Electromagnetic waves were discovered by Robert Maxwell and Heinrich Hertz in the 1800s.
The beginnings of radio as a communications device were developed by Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian scientist and inventor who discovered the means of radio communication around the turn of the century. By the mid and late 20s, it had become a huge industry. The ability of the politician to be a good public speaker became increasingly more important in the election process.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt's inauguration was broadcasted over the radio, and that's the first time we heard the famous line,
"Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself."
Well, radio came along at an interesting time. In the mid-20s, they talk about the death of vaudeville. Radio had hours and hours of programming that it had to fill, so it was a very natural transformation, basically recreating vaudeville.
Who's on first? Yeah. I mean the fellow's name. That's it. That's who? Yeah. Well, go ahead and tell me. Who? The guy on first. Who? The first base. Who?
Orson Welles' realistic radio broadcast of War of the Worlds in 1938 caused panic in the streets of American towns and cities all over the country.
Without a doubt that some people heard this and believed that the Earth was really being invaded by Martians.
Radio was a major influence in Riverside County as well. Our first commercial radio station, KFROG, started in 1941, the same year that Bob Hope premiered his new USO show at the March Air Force Base. My favorite genre of music was introduced to radio when the Grand Ole Opry debuted in 1927. One of the most popular country radio stations serving Riverside County is KFROG, which started in 1974. With us today is KFROG's Heather Froglear, who with 31 years of experience is no stranger to radio. What do you find the most interesting about radio, past, present, and future?
Hearing personality-driven radio, in addition to great music. I think that's something very special about terrestrial radio, is that you have that personal connection with your favorite radio announcer, and they become your family. And so radio is still a very intimate medium.
What are the most important changes that you have seen in radio?
Definitely moving into the digital space. Nowadays, record labels will send you a WAV file of their artist's song, or you can subscribe to music distribution services. You now can listen to the radio via an app on your phone, your mobile device, your iPad. We basically go where you go. We can be a part of your life in every aspect of it.
How has KFROG kept up with the innovations in radio over the years?
What used to be big, bulky equipment in the early days of radio has now been shrunk down to a small board, a computer, a microphone, and headphones, and it's pretty amazing.
What does the future of radio look like?
Being able to reach a greater amount of people with the same great music and great content, and to be able to do it from your home.
Radio may have a simple beginning, but its value and importance have cemented its value in our lives, being a go-to source for communication, information, and entertainment. The medium has shown its ability to adapt as society and technology advances. I have good friends in the radio industry, and doing research for this project was informative and interesting. It has shown me that radio is becoming more inclusive and something I want to be a part of.
Thank you, Karina. You're right. Radio has quite a history. JDS Creative Academy is proud of our partnership with the Vine radio station at 102.5 on your FM dial. Check out JDSCA's news updates at 7:50 a.m., 12:50 p.m., and 5:50 p.m. Now it's time for Good to Know, where we cover some of the great happenings in our community. Every year, our nation comes together to honor our fallen soldiers on Memorial Day. There are some wonderful events happening throughout Riverside County that you might be interested in attending. Our pre-apprentice, Erin Porras, is here with more.
Thanks, Gabby. The Corona Chamber of Commerce hosts the 6th Annual Memorial Mile March on May 29th, which begins at the Chamber of Commerce and ends at the Civic Center. Registrations and refreshments start at 8 a.m. and the walk takes place 9 to 11 a.m. Also on May 29th, the Riverside National Cemetery in the city of Riverside hosts a Flag for Every Hero, where the community is invited to help place an American flag by every gravesite. The event starts at 8 a.m. Then on Memorial Day, May 31st, the American Legion will be holding a special remembrance program at Sunny Slope Cemetery in Corona on that day, starting at 9 a.m. In Marietta, the Memorial Day observance takes place near the Fallen Warrior Monument at the Town Square Park, beginning at 8 a.m., where the city will pay tribute to those who lost their lives in battle. And the city of Norco will host a special Memorial Day tribute and continuous salute at the George Ingalls Veteran Memorial Plaza on Crestview Drive, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now back to Gabby with more Good to Know.
Thanks, Erin. Summer officially begins June 20th, but Riverside County isn't waiting until then for the fun to start. Harupa's Park and Rec Department is rolling out a new season of monthly movie nights at various parks around town. On Saturday, June 12th, you can catch Trolls World Tour at Cedar Creek Park starting at dusk. The City of Corona announced a summer-only bi-weekly Monday night market launching June 14th with food trucks, artisan vendors, and more. It goes away after August 9th, so be sure to check it out before then. Also starting on June 14th is JDS Creative Academy's 2-week script-to-stage performing arts summer camp. This is where kids and teens write and stage an original play in 2 weeks with a live performance on Friday, June 25th. Scholarships are available thanks to the generous donation from the Temecula Valley Women's Club. Go to our website, jdscreativeacademy.org, to learn more. While you're there, check out the fall classes starting on August 30th, which includes script writing, fashion design, and backstage production. Beginning on September 29th, you can help produce the Haunted Studio for Halloween or join the Hollywood Meets Broadway musical theater classes, which feature a Road to Broadway version of the play Super You. If helping out in the community is your thing, look into joining the folks at the Riverside University Health System. There are a variety of volunteer positions to choose from, such as working the information desk, helping in the gift shop, or event support. Food banks everywhere need volunteers more than ever. You can help with food donations, sorting and bagging, no-contact food distribution, administrative tasks, and other crucial support. Operation Feed California makes volunteering easy. Find them on volunteermatch.org and let them know you want to help. You'll receive a phone call that connects you to a local food bank. We have the links to these volunteer opportunities and all the stories we shared in this episode on our website, spiritofinnovation.org. Here at JDS Creative Academy, we're excited to announce that we were the recipient of 9 Communicator Awards, which recognize excellence, effectiveness, and innovation across all areas of communication. Spirit of Innovation won on multiple episodes, and JDS Creative Academy won for our 360 Haunted Studio video and for the live events we streamed for DigiFest Temecula on DigiDay 2020, as well as the live event we produced for the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce Women in Business event. The SOI Update crew did not go home empty-handed either. They won an award for their news update on 102.5 The Vine radio station. We are all so proud of everyone here at JDS family. Diane Strand, our executive producer, asked that I show the love on the air for all the hard work that has made this happen. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Spirit of Innovation. You can now find us on Roku TV as well as Rivco TV, local Marietta and Temecula stations, and YouTube. Follow us on social media using the hashtag JDSFamily to keep up with everything that's happening here at the studio and in Riverside County. We love hearing from our viewers, so let us know if there's a Riverside County issue or event that you want us to cover. We will be back with a summer episode on July 8th. Until then, tune in to our SOI Training Crew's award-winning weekly SOI updates covering sports, traffic, weather, and community events. Thank you so much for watching. SOI out.